The world of international diplomacy is often a carefully choreographed dance. Words are chosen with precision, statements are vetted by teams of experts. But then, there is Donald Trump. During a recent high-stakes meeting with European Union leaders in Brussels, the former president made a declaration that sent ripples across the continent. He looked directly at the assembled leaders and stated that the current confluence of crises facing Europe is the most severe since the dark days of World War II. This wasn't just political rhetoric, it was a stark historical parallel drawn by a man who has never shied away from dramatic pronouncements. The room fell into a stunned silence. The weight of his words hung in the air. This statement was not made in a vacuum. Europe is grappling with a full-scale war on its eastern flank, an energy crisis that threatens to cripple its economies, and a political landscape fractured by populist movements. Trump chose this moment to deliver his verdict. His intention was clear: to frame the current situation as a singular existential challenge. He was holding up a mirror to Europe and asking if its leaders truly understood the gravity of the moment, a moment he believes is unprecedented in nearly 80 years. Donald Trump's dramatic comparison is rooted in specific circumstances. The most significant is the ongoing war in Ukraine. This is not a distant conflict for Europeans. It is a brutal, conventional war happening on their doorstep, the largest land war on the continent since 1945. Trump sees the scale of the fighting, the immense refugee crisis it has triggered. Beyond the battlefield, Trump points to severe economic fallout. The war has choked off vital energy supplies from Russia, sending gas and electricity prices soaring to unsustainable levels. Families are facing utility bills that have doubled or tripled, forcing them to choose between heating and eating. Comparing today's challenges to World War II requires careful examination. The conflict in Ukraine, with its trench warfare, artillery duels, and large-scale troop movements, evokes haunting images from the 1940s. A powerful nation has invaded a sovereign neighbor, attempting to redraw borders by force. This act has shattered post-Cold War assumptions. The resulting refugee crisis is on a scale not seen since the end of that Great War. However, the differences are profound. Today's Europe has robust institutions like the European Union and NATO, providing platforms for coordinated response. Today's global economy, despite troubles, is deeply interconnected. The sanctions on Russia are powerful precisely because of this interconnectedness. The reaction from European leaders was a mixture of public decorum and private alarm. Publicly, most opted for measured diplomatic responses, acknowledging gravity while avoiding the WWII parallel. Leaders like German Chancellor Scholz and French President Macron stressed that while challenges are immense, Europe today is stronger and more united than ever. Behind closed doors, however, the mood was more somber. Sources revealed that Trump's words, while characteristically blunt, resonated with deep-seated anxiety many leaders share.
He may be a difficult messenger, but the message itself is not entirely wrong. For us, this feels existential.
The crisis facing Europe can be understood as a tangled knot of three distinct but interconnected problems: security, politics, and economics. The security crisis has obliterated Europe's sense of safety, forcing dramatic reassessment of military spending and readiness. Nations like Germany have announced historic increases in defense budgets. This feeds into volatile politics, with parties clashing over military support, sanctions effectiveness, and refugee obligations, fueling populist movements. At the foundation lies economic crisis touching every citizen. Families face impossible choices between heating and eating, while businesses face closure and mass layoffs. These European shockwaves reach far beyond the continent. Europe is a massive part of the global economy, and when it falters, it creates worldwide drag, affecting prices and supply chains everywhere. The stability of Europe is directly linked to American security. The billions in aid to Ukraine are investments by American taxpayers, and prolonged conflict could demand even greater commitment. As Europe stands at this historic crossroads, several scenarios loom: renewed integration and strength, fragmentation and stagnation, or dangerous escalation. The ultimate direction depends on choices made in coming months. Trump's provocative comparison may have been jarring, but it successfully framed the stakes. Europe is navigating a foundational crisis that will define its character and role in the world for the 21st century. The world is watching, waiting to see which path it will choose.